Hello, welcome to a new reading vlog. I have so many reading vlogs going on right now, it's not even funny. But it is the first day, it's July 3rd. It is the first day of Summerween, which is a week-long readathon where you read spooky books, and it's basically a way to take Halloween and bring it into summertime. Obviously, like, the readathon isn't the only time that people do that. Like, there are two kind of things going on in July that don't usually happen in July. You either have Christmas in July or you have Summerween. But the readathon is hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads. And it's literally just a week of reading spooky books, which I have been wanting to get back into horror. So with me and horror, it is really hard for me to find a book that grips me, because I have all these expectations and they never really hit the mark, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like fantasy, I can read all different kinds of fantasy, sci-fi, I can read like romance usually, like I can read the majority of like any like subgenre. Horror, I'm super picky about. But during the week of Summerween, we have a couple of different prompts. We have 5 prompts to read in 7 days. So those prompts are to read a book in the dark, to read a horror or thriller, to read a new to you author, read a book with pink on the cover, and then read a book that is less than 250 pages. So I don't own a lot of horror that I haven't read. And like, I guess I could read horror thriller as well, but I don't know, I want to kind of stick with mainly horror. So I found a couple of books on Kindle Unlimited that we're going to try to get through. So as for the ones that I own 2. To read a horror or a thriller, we're going to read Wonderland. This looks super creepy. I picked it up a while ago. And I don't know anything about it other than it takes place in the woods. And then to read a new to you author. This is one that I'm so excited for, and I really hope it doesn't disappoint. But that is Song of the Sandman. I read the first sentence of the synopsis and I was immediately like, okay, what is that about? It basically says, after a terrible mass shooting at Cicero's circus, the evil presence responsible for the carnage is taken in by a doomsday cult lying in wait for such an opportunity. I'm so intrigued by this. Obviously, content warnings for shootings that happen way too often in this country. If you don't know, I'm from the good old US of A. So as for read a book in the dark, usually for that I pick up a Junji Ito book and I turn off all the lights and then read under the covers on my phone. This year though, I think I'm going to read an actual novel for this prompt, and because there's a book that it's on Kindle Unlimited that I picked out of my TBR jar for the July TBR, actually the TBR teapot, and that is Dead Silence. And the concept of space is so terrifying, especially deep space. I want to read this book so bad. I think that's going to be our choice for this one. But I might still pick up a Junji Ito because at this point it's tradition. A book with pink on the cover. This one has a little bit of pink on the cover and it's short enough that honestly it probably could have counted for the less than 250 pages, but I couldn't find anything else that had pink on the cover for this. And it's What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. I've only read one book by T. Kingfisher and I want to read more from her. And what better way to do that than Summerween? And then a book that is less than 250 pages, a book that I had never heard about but was doing research for this prompt. It's called Crypt of the Moonspider. Again, I'm really picky about horror novels, especially horror novellas. I just feel like if you're going to create this like creepy story, you need a certain amount of pages to do it, and it can't be less than that, because if it's less than that, it just doesn't work. So I've been very disappointed by some horror novellas. doesn't mean we won't like this one. We're going to give it a try. So that is our TBR for the week. As of today, though, if you can't tell, I need to get my nails done. We are in a bit of a rough shape. So my sister and I are hanging out. She's gonna do my nails. We're also gonna do some exploring and maybe some adventuring around before we start doing that. It's just gonna be a fun day that I don't think a lot of reading is gonna get done. I'm gonna bring a book anyway. I think we're probably going to start with Song of the Sandman because this is the one that I'm most excited for. Or maybe should I save it for... No, because I don't want to risk not getting to it. I don't know if I should save it for like later, because since this is the book that I'm most excited for, it will set the pace of the readathon. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'll do like an eeny meeny miny mo type thing, and we'll figure out what we're going to start with. Okay, I did the eeny meeny miny mo thing, and it chose Song of the Sandman. So this is going to set the pace of the readathon as to whether or not I'm excited about any of these other books. Because if it's really, really great, then like I'm gonna have high expectations for everything else. If it's not great, then I'm gonna have even lower expectations for everything else. So this could set the pace for my entire reading week, which could be a good or a bad thing, because I'm already way behind on my Goodreads goal. I had a goal of 225, and I literally just hit 50 yesterday. So we are way, way behind. Like, not that 50 is bad. 50 is not bad at all. It's just on the lower side for me. Usually by now I would have hit my 100th book. So we're going to try to catch up within these next couple of months, if that is a thing. But like I said, some adventuring is going to be done today if we have a minute to sit down and read, because I've been trying to get my sister back into reading. So if we have some time to sit down and read, I'll probably convince her to do that with me today. Okay, it's been 2 days since we last spoke. Have I finished anything? No. Have I started something? Yes. Have I started the thing that I was going to tell you I was going to start? No. But the nails have been done. We went for a SpongeBob theme this time. Very, very cute, very fun, very summery. And the hair has been cut, which I am so excited about. I needed it. It was way too long and way too thick for this heat. But instead of starting Song of the Sandman, because what we ended up doing, so instead of going out and like then coming right back to Sarah's house and spending the night there, we went out, did a little bit of shopping, went back to Sarah's house, did my nails, did my hair, and then we went out to watch the 4th of July fireworks. So not a lot of like physical reading. I mean, I did physical read, but not a lot of like physical book reading was done. I did pick up the ebook for Crypt of the Moon Spider, which is 106 pages. Like, it's short, but surprisingly, like, I'm enjoying it so far. Like, if I'm being so honest, okay, so it takes place in this asylum on the moon. Basically, like, if you are like having suicidal thoughts or just bad mental health, you get sent to this place on the moon that is supposed to like, okay, so there's something, I don't know if I quite understand what's going on, but there used to be like these things called like moon spiders, and this asylum is pretty much like taking the webs from the spiders and like inserting them into your brain, and it's supposed to make you feel better, but like all these trippy things start happening. It's weird, but I'm interested, like I'm invested in this story. So I don't know how it's gonna go because I'm already 40-something% of the way through. Like, am I going to enjoy it? Am I going to feel like it cuts off at like a certain point, and like that's gonna make my enjoyment hinder? Because endings to books like this make or break, really. Not a lot of reading is going to get done today either, because I have a lot to do cleaning wise. I was supposed to spend the last couple of days doing it. I was supposed to do it Friday, but then the nails and the hair. Didn't get to do it yesterday because honestly I was just kind of making it a relaxed day. Got a late start to it today because I went to go start organizing one of the drawers in my nightstand, and and then I realized like some stuff fell behind it. So I went to go, like, this drawer, you have to unscrew it in order to take it off. So I went and unscrewed everything and then realized like one of the sides was stuck, because like it comes out on these I don't know what the hell you call them, but one of the sides was stuck and it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. So we ended up kind of taking it apart. It's sitting in there now, but like it's not sitting on the bars that it's supposed to sit on. So it's a whole thing. So I'm working on getting the room clean right now. It looks more messy than it did when I started, but you gotta trust the process. And I could put on an audiobook, but I'm just not feeling an audiobook right now. I don't know what I want to listen to. Like, I've been bouncing back and forth between like YouTube videos and then music and then back to YouTube and then a TV show. I wanted to continue watching The Mandalorian, but realized like I wasn't paying attention to that. I just need something that I can put on in the background and somewhat pay attention to. But I just wanted to update you and let you know where we're at, because we're 2 days in and we haven't finished a single book. Okay. So, a couple changes. Oh gosh, hold on here. Okay, so a couple of changes. First of all, I was sitting down to read Song of the Sandman, and I got about like 25-30 pages in, and I'm like, this just doesn't seem like all of the information that we're getting is like leading to a build-up. Like, it seems like these are things that are like more reminding us of things that happened. So I looked it up and realized that it's actually the second book in a series. It's a sequel. Obviously, we can't read it. So what I have done since then is what did I do? I have decided to move Dead Space to the prompt that was going to work for, I think it was new to you author. That's what I was going to read Song of the Sandman for. And then use what was going to be a Junji Ito for reading a book in the dark. Problem with that is my library, at least on Libby, doesn't have any Junji Ito that I haven't already read. pretty sure I've read almost all of them, except for the newest one, Statues, and my library doesn't have that right now. I have it on hold, but who knows when it's going to come in. So instead, I grabbed a manga called, oh my gosh, I forget what it's called. It's a manga, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's about this pet shop that you can go into, and it's supposed to like give you the kind of pet you need, but all of them kind of have a twist. It is pretty damn creepy so far. So I've been reading that, and working. I might, honestly, depending on how the next 2 days goes, technically tomorrow's the last day of the readathon, I might extend it into Friday. We'll see. But I have a couple hours before I have to be at job number 2. Hopefully we'll make some progress in Dead Space, because I did start that yesterday, and I'm intrigued. I'm invested. So we open up not Dead Space, sorry, it's called Dead Silence. But we open up with this woman being accused of murdering her entire space crew. She was sent to space. She's been there for so long, and we know that all of her crew except for her has died and passed away, and she's kind of been she's experienced this kind of thing in the past before, so it's bringing up some trauma. It's also making the police look at her in a certain way, because she's like, okay, once is an accident, twice is a coincidence. So they're really trying to get her to admit what happened. So she's going back and telling the story of how they ended up getting to this circumstance. So we go back in time to see that she's part of this crew, and she, this is her last tour in space, and she's super nervous about that. She just kind of wants to stay where people are not. She doesn't like being in crowded spaces. She doesn't like too many people talking to her. So she's really nervous about it, but her crew is ready to go home. And she has, there's a couple of different, personalities in there. We have Kane, who has a little bit of a crush on her that we can see, and I think the feeling's a little mutual. And then a couple of other characters. One that is, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he's an antagonist 100%. He wants to go home. He is basically saying that she's crazy for wanting to stay here, and she's trying to bring down the whole crew with her. And then yeah, so there's a couple of different personalities, and I think we're gonna start seeing a lot more debate. And then there's supposed to be this, we don't really know what it is, but basically they find this abandoned ship, and they're gonna go where I left off. They're about to go discover it, and see if they can find any information. So I'm intrigued. I'm having a lot of fun, and of course deep space is terrifying. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time, and I had such high expectations for this book. We'll see if that ends up being the case. And then Wonderland. I have not started Wonderland yet. Hopefully we'll at least get to start it before the readathon ends. Okay, so excuse the air conditioning if you can hear it. Yeah, it's hot. But I'm doing some cleaning today. It's technically the last day of Summerween was yesterday. And I was gonna kind of move it into today, but I'm not doing that anymore, only because I'm not really in the mood to listen to an audiobook, and I'm not going to have time to physically read today. So I'm just gonna do like a quick little wrap up. So for the week of July 3rd through July 9th, we read 3 books. Honestly, not too bad for a full week. Wasn't the 5 that I wanted, but it's fine. We managed to read, for the prompts, read a book in the dark, which we read Tokyo Pet Shop of Horrors for. I had a lot of fun with that. I gave it a 4-star. It was interesting, and the stories all had some really, really good twists. Not all of them were really scary. Some of them were more like tragic or surprising instead of like actual horror. But I still had a really good time with that one, and it is like a new manga series that I definitely want to look out for. Read a book less than 250 pages. We read a book that was 109 pages with Crypt of the Moon Spider. That one, again, it had a lot of interesting conversations about mental health and depression and suicide. It was just so interesting to read, but just too short. Like, I feel like we could have expanded on this topic and expanded in this world a little bit. There is a sequel that I might check out to see like where that goes. And to read a book with pink on the cover with What Moves the Dead. I don't know if I really talked about this one. I don't think I did. But we did listen to the audiobook for What Moves the Dead. This is about our main character who comes to this mansion because it's either his cousin or like his dear friend is really, really sick. And he discovers that there's more at play here. This is not typically like a story that I like. I didn't really know what it was about, other than that so many people love T. Kingfisher, and I thought maybe I would try this one out and love it too. It just isn't my typical kind of story, like the creepy. It's also a plot that's been done a million times. Just not a plot that I tend to go for. I haven't had the best of luck with stories like this, but we tried it, and that's okay. I still gave it like a 3-star. It was fine. It was cool. It was fun. Just not my typical horror book. Now, for the books I didn't get to, I started but did not finish Dead Silence. Again, planned on doing that today, but I'm just not in the mood to listen to an audiobook. It's either going to be music or like a show in the background. I've been watching SpongeBob and Love Island and whatever else I'm watching for the podcast that we are also behind on, so it's fine. A horror or thriller. I mean, technically we did, but like we didn't. We were going to read Wonderland for that one. That didn't end up happening. Wonderland, we didn't end up finishing Wonderland. I started Wonderland, but I wasn't going to have time to read a full physical novel this week. Song of the Sandman, well, we already discussed why I didn't get to read that, but in case you missed it, it was because I didn't realize Song of the Sandman was a sequel, and we need to go and find the first one. So that is what we managed to read within the week. Hopefully we will read a lot more this month. I mean, I know it's a little late into the month, but still, it's fine. I have so many reading vlogs planned I have so many reading plans for the foreseeable future that hopefully we can catch up to our reading goal. If we can't, that is also fine. I am just enjoying the love of reading right now, even if I don't have a ton of time for it this year as opposed to other years. I don't know. Yeah. Let me know what you read, if you participated in Summerween, and if you didn't, just what you read for this week. And if you plan on participating in Summerween in the future, they also do, I think, like Winterween is also a thing. So, like, there's a couple of readathons in, like, fitting this style throughout the year. So let me know if you participated and what you read, and even if you didn't participate, what you are reading this month and how your reading year is going. if you have managed to hit your goal, or if you're on track to hit your goal, because I need to live vicariously through you. Alright, I'm gonna get back to doing some cleaning and watching some SpongeBob, but thank you so much for hanging out with me this week. I know not much went on, but still, we love you, and we'll see you next time. Bye!